LaSalle Vaughn. I'm here with a very special guest at our Celebrate Israel conference here in San Antonio, Texas, Robert Stearns. Robert, I'm so glad to have you, and thank God for that message that you brought us at this special conference of ours. And I want you to listen carefully because you're going to be blessed by some of the things you hear from Robert. And we're going to start off by asking Robert to tell us about his ministry, Eagle's Wings, and what you're all about.
Awesome. Well, Pastor, it's just tremendous to be with you here today at New Life. And I just want to say, the family of God here at this church is like none other I've ever encountered.
Thank you,
God
Robert.
is doing something special here in San Antonio. And I just honor your years of faithfulness. You and your wife, Portia, and your whole family are exemplary leaders in the body of Christ. And as we've tried to walk forward in Eagle's Wings and be faithful to what God's given us to do, there's been 3 core values that the Lord wrote on our heart, and that I understood that for the rest of our life were to be the 3 core values we worked toward. The first was the restoration of biblical Christianity. What did it look like in Acts chapter 2? What was in the lives of those early Christians that was so potent and so powerful that they changed the world in one generation? But what did that New Testament church look like? And the second core value is the unity of the body of Christ. You know, the body really does need one another. The Baptist church needs the Pentecostals. The Pentecostals need the Baptists. The black church needs the white church. The white church needs the Hispanic church. God's doing something unique in each stream of the body, and we need to discern what that blessing is and walk in unity. And then the third core value that God gave us was God's eternal covenant with Israel. God has an enduring, everlasting covenant with the people and land of Israel, and we've been grafted in as the wild olive branch, as Apostle Paul reminds us. So we call ourselves not an organization with a value, or an organization with a mission statement, but rather a community with a value system. And these 3 core values, the restoration of biblical Christianity, the unity of the body of Christ, and God's purposes for Israel, define everything that we do, and then out of that our various ministries flow around the world.
Well, Robert, I can also tell that you are a praying man, and I know that you and Jack Hayford host this initiative with the Day of Prayer for Jerusalem.
Right.
And that was recently. You had something recent about that? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Absolutely.
Let the viewing audience know about that.
This has been a phenomenon, Pastor, that's gone now all over the world to approximately 190 nations now that we have representatives. It's very simple. Psalm 122:6 says, "Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. May they prosper who love thee." We are calling believers around the world on the first Sunday of every October to set aside that day specifically as a unified day of prayer for the peace of Jerusalem. Whatever your politics are, whatever your theology is, whatever your background is, certainly we can all agree that we should pray and that we should respond to the Bible mandate to pray. And since we launched this, we've had now over 250,000 churches around the world. Yeah, we estimate last year, a conservative estimate, is that we had upwards of 80 million people participating last year on the first Sunday of October. And it's broadcast live over God TV. Our good friends Rory and Wendy Alec do an awesome job on God TV broadcasting that. And we just invite folks to visit the website and to sign up and say, yeah, I'm going to be praying the first Sunday of October. There's material there in 29 different languages. We've translated things into 29 languages, and just encouraging people to pick up that mantle of prayer for Jerusalem.
And for those that are watching by Iraq, the soldiers there and those that are in Korea, I want you to join in on that prayer for Jerusalem, and know that we're also praying for you.
Absolutely.
And Robert, let me also ask this question. You know, it's a lot of times we have people that go and pray for this city and this city and this city, but it's a mandate from God to pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Yeah.
And could you kind of center in on that? I know there's a lot going on right now. You know, currently our government is trying to get Israel to divide Jerusalem.
Right.
And there's, you know, even I've talked to some Israelis. They feel like maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
I'm just really blown out the water when I hear that.
Well, they're tired. They're tired of the conflict. They're
Mm-hmm.
worn out with the conflict, and they think, well, you know, but every time they've given up land, they've not gotten peace.
Right.
Every time they gave up Land in the north, they didn't get peace. They gave back the Sinai. They didn't get peace. Just a few years ago, they gave back Gaza. And they got thousands of rockets in response.
And you know, Robert, I really thought when Ariel Sharon gave up Gaza, that portion, Gush Petit, there, I was under the impression that, well, this was a good thing for humanity in a sense, because since that area was such a highly dense populated area, that perhaps maybe the Palestinians would take that and build some buildings to alleviate some of the living conditions there, but they didn't do that. And I know that was also a controversy. But what do you think we're headed with this? What do you have any gut feelings about this?
Pastor, there is a geographic center to the spiritual universe. Jerusalem is the center of what is happening spiritually. And so the battle over that city, and specifically the battle over the Temple Mount, will be more intense than any other piece of land in the world. Because it's about whose name will be lifted up over that mountain. Whose name will be exalted over that mountain. And we know that King David purchased that threshing floor from Araunah the Jebusite. And King David said, I will not offer the Lord that which costs me nothing. And he made that into a place of worship, and he built an altar there. And so, we see the prophets say that in the last days, Jerusalem will be a cup of controversy that all the nations will drink. That's what's happening in front of our eyes. 150 years ago, Jerusalem was a forgotten backwater place. Nobody cared about it.
Everybody wants a piece of the pie.
Mark Twain wrote that it was practically deserted and nothing was... Well, what happened? Did they find oil in Jerusalem? Did they find...
Maybe soon.
Did they find diamond mines? Did they find gold mines?
Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Right.
And now it is the fault line. It is the center point of global controversy. Well, this is exactly what the Bible has said it would be. And so we must pray. And regarding the Palestinians, one of the greatest lies is that those of us who have a heart for Israel don't also have a heart for the Palestinians. We would be so happy to see them living in peace, to living in prosperity, to living in blessing. But they are being used as pawns by a radical Islamic agenda that isn't committed to even a two-state solution. They're committed to driving Israel into the sea.